Hello everybody, we're back to another video, and today we are talking about the Marvel Disney Plus shows that we got in 2021, because we got 5 total Marvel Disney Plus shows, and I decided, now that we've seen all of them, I should rank all 5 of them. That way you can get my thoughts on all of them, because even though I was able to do reviews for some of them, like Hawkeye and WandaVison, some of them, like Loki, I wasn't able to do a review on all the episodes, only some, and What If, I sadly wasn't able to do any. But now, I think it's time to talk about all 5 of them. So, yeah, I guess we should get started. So, at number 5, we have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, this is probably easily my least favorite of the Marvel shows so far, but I mean, I feel like there was some good stuff in it. Like, for example, when Falcon becoming Captain America, I thought was cool. And his suit looked awesome and actually very accurate to the comics. I thought that was pretty cool. But I feel like there was still a lot of problems with the show. Like, one, I feel like the show had way too much talking. And not even, like, exposition. I mean, I guess some of it was. But unlike Loki, where it was, like, explaining all this important details, this show is just kind of like talking about stuff that we didn't really need to know about, if you understand what I'm talking about. And like, I feel like the villains, and that's one of the big complaints about the show, is the villains with Carly and the Flag Smashers, which I have mixed feelings on. Some people were like, they said they didn't handle them well. I agree. I think they should have gone more one way or the other, because they made it in a way where they tried their best to make them sympathetic characters. Like, look, they're not all bad. They're just doing like Eric Killmonger, they're just doing the wrong thing to do something good. But it wasn't done very well though, because like, they seemed like they were more like anti-heroes at first, and then it's just like, oh yeah, we blew up the building and we killed a bunch of innocent people, but you know, we're more like anti-heroes. So I feel like they could have handled that better. They should have either leaned full on villain and made them like these evil, despicable people who are murdering people and they need to be stopped, or gone the other way and made them kind of like anti-heroes, where they're not necessarily bad guys, it's just they need to be stopped. Because they're not handling things the way they should be. But they didn't handle it that way. They handled it in a way that was okay, I guess. And yeah, I mean, like Elijah Bradley and what's his name? The Bradleys, you know who I'm talking about. I feel like their story was handled pretty decently. I'm excited for this because this possibly sets up Patriot for Young Avengers, and I love the Young Avengers, so hopefully that's a good setup there. But besides that, I feel like this show didn't have a whole lot that it should have had. And I remember this was a show that I was pretty excited for. And similarly, like everyone else, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be like the Winter Soldier movie, right? And I feel like that's not what we got. So it's sadly my least favorite of the Disney Plus shows. But next up, at number 4, we have What If. This is the first animated project in the MCU, and I personally enjoyed it. Now, it's a show that I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's animated, and it's not even taking place in the main universe, so this is a skip. Well, I wouldn't skip on this just yet, especially if you saw the trailer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. This is a required viewing, and I enjoyed a lot of it. The What If comics are pretty fun comic books. They're a pretty fun run. And I honestly thought when they first announced this show that was just going to be one-off stories that might play a role in the multiverse of madness, but it won't be like anything huge. But I ended up being wrong, because something that they did at the end of the season, which I really liked, was that they brought all the stories that they told together into one, to tie into one bigger story, which I personally really liked. I thought that was awesome. I thought it was really cool. But the problem I have with this show mostly is that I feel like there were some episodes that were like really entertaining and like really hooking that I really wanted to see, and then there were episodes that I was like, meh, this episode's okay. It's not really that interesting to me. But yeah, because like I feel like for example, episode 5, the zombie episode, I loved that episode. It was awesome. I loved it so much. Probably my favorite episode. but then the episode right after that, if I remember correctly, like the episode, I think it was 6 or 7, the what if Eric Killmonger helped Tony Stark. I feel like that one wasn't as interesting to me personally. I mean, we got to see like Iron Man die again, which I'm not sure if I can handle seeing him die this many times because this show likes to kill him a lot, and we already saw him die in the MCU. So come on, in the Endgame. So come on, what's wrong with you guys? Why do you guys want us to keep living through that? But what episode was it? I forget which number episode, but what if Thor was an only child?
Maybe I've been up here too long.
Was an only child. I was not a fan of that episode. That episode, in my personal opinion, was kind of boring. It was just okay. But yeah, some episodes I absolutely love, like the Doctor Strange episode. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? What if zombies? And what if Peggy Carter became Captain America? And there was a couple others that I really liked, but then some of them, like what if Thor was an only child, I was like, meh, these are okay. But yeah, it was still a pretty good show, just not like top tier. But then there's another show on here that deals with similar concept when it comes to multiple different versions of these people, because next up at number 3 we have Loki.
Is it playtime yet?
It is, Loki. It is. We are playing in a timeline. So this show I thought was really good and fun. First of all, this was a show I was actually, believe it or not incredibly excited for, because I was like, really, you're coming up with another excuse for us to have a story with Loki. I mean, I love Loki, don't get me wrong, he's awesome, but he's dead. Why would I want to hang out with this Loki? He's not my Loki. My Loki died in Infinity War, so why do I care about this Loki? This isn't my Loki. But I ended up being wrong, and I'm so glad I was, because I really enjoyed this show. Some episodes more than others, I think, but the whole time travel stuff I thought was really cool. So glad that they bring time travel into the MCU, just because I think it can be cool. I mean, it can be extremely confusing, but I feel like it wasn't too confusing in this show. I mean, it can get confusing sometimes, but for me personally, I understood it, at least for the most part. I do feel like this is definitely an exposition-heavy show, though. At least with Season 1. We are getting Season 2, which I'm super excited for. But, like, I feel like I didn't mind it in some episodes. Like, what episode was it? Was it episode 3? I think it was. When they go to where they get trapped in this one place. I forget what it was. I forget the name of the place. But they get trapped in this one apocalypse place. And that guy's driving crazy. Wow. Okay. Like, people are like, oh, that episode's kind of like filler, and I guess, yeah, kind of. I still really enjoy that episode. I thought it was fun, but if I'm being completely honest, I was kind of disappointed in the finale. I didn't think it was bad, like, at all, but it wasn't my favorite, and that's probably because I overhyped it for myself. Like, I was like, oh yeah, the finale of a time travel show, we're gonna get a ton of timeline shenanigans, and it's gonna be crazy. And it started off kind of crazy for me, because it's like, oh my gosh, he who remains is the keeper of the TVA, and he's a Kang variant. Kang is coming, possibly Iron Lad is coming. This is awesome. And then the whole rest of the hour is he who remains explaining the timeline again to us, which I was like, okay, hasn't this been explained multiple times? Didn't they explain it like twice in Endgame, and like twice already in this show? But okay. I mean, I've grown to like it a bit more as time went on, but I mean, I feel like it could have been better. But still, I really enjoy the show. I think it's awesome. I'm super excited for Season 2. Yeah, it was a pretty good show, but I enjoyed 2 more shows better than this one. But before I tell you those, if you could please like and subscribe, that'd be super helpful, and tell me how you would rank these shows in the comments below. Thank you so much.
Oh dear,
now,
I upset someone.
only a little, Loki. Only a little. But not, like I was saying, at number 2, we have none other than WandaVision. I actually really loved this show, and I thought it was awesome. First of all, the whole sitcom aspect, I actually really enjoyed the sitcom stuff. I mean, I personally feel like they shouldn't have released the first 4 episodes like one at a time. They should release the first 4 at once for everybody, and then after that start going 1 per week, just because it was super confusing. And I know a lot of people, like dedicated Marvel fans like myself, are probably like, okay, we'll just sit through this weird sitcom episode to see what happens next. But I know that a lot of people who aren't as big into the MCU as I am were like, really? These first 2 episodes were just sitcoms? I'm done with this show. This show's lame.
I hate the way
So that's I think was a problem, was that only very dedicated people stuck with this show after like the first 2 episodes. But I personally loved it and I enjoyed it. I like the mystery aspect of it, even though I feel like they definitely did. It was like 8 episodes of setup, and then it was 1 episode of payoff, which wasn't handled very well. Now, I did do a episodes ranked for this show, and I had like the finale, I think, at number 3. I feel like if I would redo that ranking, it would go down a little bit, just because after time has passed, I do agree that it isn't very well done. The action could have been handled better. They could have done really anything better with this show, like with this finale. Like, it kind of felt like a rush finale, but I still really love this show. I love the sitcom aspect. I thought it was so much fun. I love how dedicated they were to it. They like got a real live studio audience for it. They really dedicated everything, the sets, the acting, and everything to it. I thought that was incredible. And Agatha's All Along, that song, as well as all the other theme songs for the sitcom, I thought were awesome and so much fun. I love them. But yeah, a super fun show. And I really enjoyed it. Plus, this show actually made me like Vision a whole lot more than I did before. Because, like, since the Age of Ultron all the way to Endgame, or Infinity War, he wasn't in Endgame, Infinity War, I was like, yeah, he's a cool character, but he's not, like, anyone super special to me. But this show made me like him a whole lot more, because he was a lot more likable, a lot more relatable, because he wasn't just like this robotic guy. I feel like in the other shows, I mean, he had some funny jokes in like Civil War, but besides that, he was kind of like just very robotic character. I mean, I know he is a robot, but he didn't have to feel so robotic. But in this show, he was really funny and he was relatable, and I really liked him more after this. And Wanda, who is a awesome character, finally gets the attention she deserves, just like I feel like Hawkeye does in his show. Like, this Disney Plus thing definitely helps out these characters that definitely needed more attention, like Wanda and Vision. And I'm super glad we got it, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. But there was one show I actually ended up liking more than this one, because at number 1, we have Hawkeye. Yes, Hawkeye. I personally love Hawkeye. I think both Hawkeyes, I think Kate Bishop and Clint Barton are awesome characters. I always loved them in the comic books. Both Matt Fraction's run in the comics were great. The Young Avengers run with Kate Bishop was great. I just really enjoyed these 2 characters. So Clint, even though I liked him in the MCU, like I didn't hate him in the MCU, and I thought Jeremy Renner was a great pick to play him. But I do agree with everyone that he was very mistreated, especially in the first Avengers movie. I love the first Avengers movie, don't get me wrong, but he was very mistreated in that movie. I feel like he was just Loki's henchman pretty much the entire movie. And when I first saw that movie, I was like, really? Why would you do this to Hawkeye? He's such a great character. Why is he nothing but Loki's lackey in this entire movie? That sucks. I mean, I've grown to be okay with it. So the fact that this show finally gave him the attention he deserves was great. And I loved how they dealt with his family and him needing to get home for Christmas. I loved that. The Christmas aspect to the show, I loved. And them introducing Kate Bishop and Lucky the Pizza Dog was awesome. Kate Bishop, one of my favorite characters from the comics. So them finally bringing her to the MCU with a great choice to play her, that being Haley Steinfeld. I thought that was just great casting, great character development. I really enjoyed the show. And they brought in Vincent D'Onofrio, I think that's his name, as Kingpin, which was cool. And even though people had their problems with the finale, if you want my full thoughts on the finale, you could just check out my review of the episode. I reviewed that in episode 5 together in one video, so you can just check that out if you want my full thoughts, because I went off on a whole rant with that. But I still really enjoyed the finale, even though I feel like I thought the worst part about the finale was Kingpin wasn't done the best. But I still really enjoy the show. I love it. Please give us a season 2 of Hawkeye, Disney. I need a season 2 of this show. Like, WandaVision, I understand it. We don't need season 2 of that one. It was a one-and-done storyline. But Loki and What If are getting season 2, are getting second seasons. I need a second season of Hawkeye, like, really badly. I need it. I need to see more of Kate and Clint taking down baddies with Lucky the Pizza Dog at their side. I need that. I need more of it. So please give us season 2, Disney. But yeah, I love this show. And this is another show I have to say, I feel like there could have been more action to it. I feel like there's a lot of talking involved with the show, but I didn't hate it at all. I still really enjoyed it. And this might be the closest that MCU has stuck to the comics, to the comic book roots, than any of their other projects. At least I could think of. I'd have to like look back and really think about it. But I think so, because it was based on the Matt Fraction books, and it was pretty close to it, besides the whole Christmas getting home to family thing, because, well, he didn't have Laura Barton as his wife, as well as those kids. But I really enjoy the show, and I'd love to know what you guys think of this episode, of these shows. I almost said this episode. This is an episode review.
Thanks. I'm gonna go take a hot bath.
That sounds like a good idea. Anyway, like I was saying, what did you guys think of these shows? How would you rank them? What's your favorite of these shows? What's your least favorite of these shows? I've heard multiple different opinions on all these shows, so I would love to hear what you guys think of these shows. But yeah, that's what I think. WandaVision and Hawkeye are my 2 favorites, so I love those 2, probably the best. But what do you guys think? If you like this video, please hit like. It'd be very helpful. And if you want to see more videos like this, not only have I reviewed every episode for Hawkeye, every episode for WandaVision, I've also done a couple other rankings. Sorry if you hear my dog. I've also done a couple other rankings that you could check out, like the Spider-Man movies, the X-Men movies, and like I said before, the WandaVision episodes, even though I probably would change that. But yeah, go ahead, you can check that out, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.